Tell them where we're at.
Oh no.
Tell them where we're at.
Huh?
Tell them where we're at.
Elvis's birthplace, Tuepelo, Mississippi.
Dad. Elvis's house is Dad built by hand. Walking in.
So, it was built by Elvis's father, Vernon Presley, in 1934. Vernon had to borrow $180 from his boss at the time for the materials to build the house, and he built it here. So this is the original location of the house, and we haven't moved it at all. Elvis and his twin brother Jesse were born here in this room in 1935. Jesse was stillborn, so Elvis was the only child that Vernon and Gladys had. They only lived here in this house for 4 years because Vernon forged a check and then he was sent to prison for about 8 months. During the time that he was in prison, Gladys and Elvis stayed in the house, but she could not afford to pay back the money Vernon borrowed originally, so the house was repossessed. Elvis, at the time that happened, was 3 years old, so about the age that he was in this photo we have right up here when they moved from this house. They stayed in Tuepelo after that, but they did have to move around a lot to other houses, and they stayed with their relatives for a while due to them being so poor. And so they moved to Memphis to find work when Elvis was 13. When they moved, they sold most of their belongings, and so that means that the furnishings we have in the house now are not entirely original. Most of what we have was donated and is from the time period they were here, so very similar to what they had. And when we opened in the 70s, Vernon came back to the house from Memphis and explained what kind of furniture they had and also how they arranged all of it in the house, so it looks as close to how it used to as possible.
Yeah, cool.
And the only things that are still original is the fireplace right here, and in the kitchen, the stove and the icebox are still original too.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yes.
Thanks.
You're welcome. If you have any questions, just let me know. And you exit through the back whenever you're ready to. Thank you.
She said the stove and refrigerator was there.
I wonder what that room leads to.
Like where they put their food.
Think about it. Vernon and Vernon probably touched all this. Elvis probably did it all. I'd say they did, you know?
Yeah.
Touched all this, most of this stuff.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. I can't believe that's what a stove looked like back then.
So that's what he was cooking.
People still use those.
Yeah. They like putting them in their house too.
Yeah.
Here's the back of what my shirt has too. Me and my dad are wearing the same shirt. It's your first time seeing this, Mom.
Yeah.
My first time too. My dad's second time.
Third.
Third? Oh.
This is my third. I've been down here twice.
Oh. This door's old. See the cracks in the ceiling. Do you think that's original?
No.
Oh crap. Okay. My phone wasn't focusing when we got out. Got this Sun Studio Recording Company. Got all this stuff. What's starting, Dad?
Church.
Church is right there. All the stuff. Hey, guess what? Church. Where's the cross at?
Smile.
Yeah, Dad, smile. Smile. Stuff's old. You are welcome inside the church. Yeah, not as bright, but this stuff.
Elvis sang his very first solo in this building when he was 8 years old. Did her down age? Yes. Well, you're the same age as Elvis when he sang his very first solo. We're going to see a reenactment of that, and we're going to join in on the chorus when Elvis gets started with the solo. But that was the very first solo. Elvis's pastor, Brother Frank, coached Elvis to the point that he could sing, to have the confidence to sing that solo. And then, of course, after he sang that first one, he sang many more. And then the pastor also taught Elvis 3 chords on his guitar after Gladys got it down to Tuepelo hardware. And that got Elvis going with his singing and his guitar playing. And that little Elvis, he decided he wanted to become and work on a gospel quartet. He loved so much when those quartets came in. They saw him and said, "Oh, that's what I want to do right there." And of course, the world had other ideas for Elvis. But Elvis always loved having those quartets. You know, the Blackwood Brothers, the Imperials, the Statesmen, they were very often in Elvis's projects. Also, the Spanish Quartet, they were great friends of Elvis. They enjoyed that Mr. J.D. Sumner. He was a lifelong friend of Elvis. Very proud man. Now, Elvis got that itch for that kind of music in Tuepelo, in this building, when he was a kid. And then they left. Elvis sang a solo when he was 8. Then they moved to Memphis when Elvis was 13, and they completed that track. And they just 3 or 4 people from East Tuepelo headed to Memphis in search of a better life. You know, I think that turned out okay from our reports and for Tuepelo. You know, Elvis has been, through the years, has been a great supporter of Tuepelo and a very important part of the economy of Tuepelo, even until this day. Our Elvis Festival is coming up on June the 6th, something like that. It's great fun when you have all these tribute artists coming to town to compete to be the Tuepelo Elvis of the year. And it's always great fun. They used to have it at the arena, but I think they're moving it over to the Lyric Theater, where Elvis did go to movies. And that's what it's going to be this year. But then you break for lunch. You have all these competitions. You break for lunch. There's Elvis at every table. It's so much fun. Great fun. I don't need to go anymore because I'm already doing this, which I love. Elvis continued to think about music and to try to pursue that. You remember he came back and did the performance at the Fair when he was 21. But that's about the church. Elvis left the church, but the church kept on going, of course. There was no big deal about him leaving. And the church continued to have the church services. Then in 1959, the church decided it was time for them to build a new building. They had more people coming to church than this building would hold. Isn't that a great problem?
Mhm.
So they said, well, let's just sell this little building, let's build us a bigger one. And that's what they did. Now, this is the building we care about. This is the original building of the Assembly of God Church of Tuepelo, and it was red. But in 1959, to make room for that big building that they built, the new one that they built in 1959, they sold this building. And this building had a second chapter. A family lived in this building until around 2006. They turned it into a four-room house and lived in this building until around 2006. Now, this was white on the outside then. It fit right in with, I'm gonna need to get, it fit right in with those other square ones. Very much their Christian journey, their walk with the Lord. And Elvis got really steep into that and took that with him the rest of his life. You know, I always loved those gospel songs the best. And all that started in this building. But in 2006, this building we bought this building, our foundation bought this building, and moved it up here for the purpose of turning this back into the church and having the church service. Now, of course, really what we have in the original church building is the frame. All these services are new as of 2008. The original was already gone. This has become a four-room house. So this is shipped back to Big Door, kind of Chip and Joanna style period. The pews were made for us 2008. The mourners bench made for us 2008. The floorboards are all old. They were found here, there, everywhere. And these few boards right here, we have to straighten up. These are boards that are certified to be in the church with Elvis when Elvis attended. You're welcome to stand on these boards if you like. This pulpit is the only artifact in here that was actually in the church with Elvis. This came to us after Elvis died. You remember that was August 16th, 1977. People started sending monetary donations here in memory of Elvis. And so as funds started coming in, our board started kind of putting their heads together. What would be the best use of these funds? And they decided to build, Elvis always lives there.
Yeah.
They decided to build a memorial chapel. Now that's the building next door. Unfortunately, I've had to lock it today. After water started coming on the light fixture up here. We decided it was kind of not a good thing out going on. So it is locked. Maybe on your next visit you'll be able to go inside the chapel, or you may have gone in there earlier. But anyway, that's what they built that. And while they were talking about building it, the church down there, the Assembly of God Church said, we're building a chapel. We still have that pulpit that was in the church with us. He touched this many times. We've had it all these years. We don't really use it. We want to give this to go inside the chapel. This was in the chapel when it opened in 1979. Then when Elvis Chapel Church opened here in 2008, the pulpit was moved from the chapel over here to the church, Elvis Chapel Church.
Depression. In a little church in the North Mississippi town of Tuepelo, families like the Presleys gathered to worship on Sundays and on Wednesday night. You are sitting in that very church.
The church was at the center of their lives and provided the social structure as well as entertainment in which the family thrived. Young Elvis regularly sang at church, as did many of the members. But according to his minister, Brother Frank Smith, Elvis was fascinated with music.
So walk with us back to 1943, to what a typical Sunday night service might have been.
It's a true foundation. Stand for my love. While at that time, I'm tired of feeling. I want to have you know, get my door, my door. It's a true foundation. I'm on the first stand, burning for
stayed there for about 6 months. Birthdays of it. And to the second time, you will make mistakes. You can hang around this photos if you like. I look down and say, y'all need to take over the belongings with you. I apologize that the chapel is closed today, and next week will be back in the area. That's always free or open, so you're not going to stop there. But since the water was the light was raining, see what happens.
Turn it out.
See what happens.
That's what Elvis would stand on sometimes. Yeah, that's all original.
This is what we're in that.
Was that actually recording?
This is like a piano store.
I want to advise if you play it.
No.
No, yeah, those were fairly common in this area. That when I was a little girl, they were nominal churches. Yeah, they were discarded for minutes where they would play piano. When they came down here, they were just to be played in church.
What? Nice piano. Really old.
The video that you showed, that was really good.
Oh, wow.
Well, you still got some hammers and some strings.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
Well, I've been amazed at some of the
You're flying. Oh,
They didn't move it until what, 2008, she said?
really? What is this?
An outhouse. That's where you used to go.
Like Elvis used to play up in here, now, back in the 30s.
Dude, that's what you would have to sit on some nails and
yeah.
stuff.
Dude, we used it plenty of times.
I have to.
Yeah.
They were still around whenever we were growing up.
Yep. Whenever we was growing up, you had to use it. I think you just walked in and like a wheelchair.
Sadly, this place ain't open. Had a little bit of a leak in there.
Big butt in it.
Oh, that is beautiful. It has a stained glass. What is this again?